that I've now got to keep secret from everybody, that I can't tell anybody because I'm going to think I'm a nutter. Bizarre window that you're able to see these things. I was the only person meant to see that. The absurdity of this, I guess Trump is already scared that if he says anything, that he'll be assassinated. I'm actually seeing other people's encounters. We want to see the pilots that David Grush said there are pilots. It's no matter where it's come from, it's never been enough.
Here we go. Hi, welcome to Dogman TP Hunting, and if you're listening to it, you'll be listening on the Interdimensional Voyagers podcast. We have Chris with us again today, and thank goodness, because I've got a few questions for Chris, and the question I'd like to ask him really is all in and around to do with UFOs, which before you turn off, if you're a cryptid fan, as you know, with me, I do believe that all of this stuff is connected. There is a line, a connection. But before we dive into that, hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good evening. How are you, Phil? You all right?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. No problem. Always a pleasure.
Yep. You're keeping well?
Oh, I'm very well. Thank you very much. Just keeping busy at the moment. Very, very busy.
Oh, I know. It's like if it's not one thing, it's another going on, isn't it? It's like, you know, between juggling work and doing this, and you know, videos and a lot of research. Because I know you do a lot of research, don't you?
Yeah, I don't watch what I'd call daytime TV at all, ever. And I watch a hell of a lot of documentaries. Factual. I'll try as much as I can to stick to factual information. And I'll say research. A lot of the research that I would do it would be specific. So if I see something pop up in the UFO community that I'd never heard of before, I would heavily research that particular element if I could, you know. So I try and do my homework as much as I can. Yeah,
that's all any of us can hope to do, really. And it's a shame with this let's just say with the UFO topic especially, so much information out there, so much information, but how much of that information is the right information that we need, really?
Yeah, I think as from October this year, October the 18th, I think it's highly likely we're going to start seeing some answers, at least. You know, I think so. I think there'll be. I don't think they're going to roll something out on the White House lawn. I think it's going to be more of like a file release, or maybe even a small piece, or maybe even like a medium-sized briefcase-sized piece of something very unusual that one of these American government contractors have been holding. You know, I think that'd be with the. I think it'd be very, very fair to say that they have something. At the moment, we still don't know what it is. We don't know where it's from. They've started to get some materials analysis done on this stuff. Stanford University. Dr. Gary Nolan is on this. He's all over this. So I think. I also think there's going to be like a combined approach to what they're going to moving forward, because for years now, if if any one person or any one body come forward and says, "Yep, no, 100%, there's UFOs there and there's aliens," it's not enough. That's not. It's no matter where it's come from, it's never been enough to satisfy the public need to know for it. So I think a multi-angled approach to the disclosure, you'd have James Webb coming forward saying that we've maybe found a biosignature out there at the moment, a really, really good indicator that at some point this year, James Webb will announce that they have found something at least. You've got a potential reveal. Potential, I'll call it potential because I still think it's if they're going to get anything out, it's going to be a small piece of this stuff, and it'll be possibly with the analysis results that they've done themselves privately for 70 years. I don't think we're ever going to see what they've actually gained from what they have, any technology they have, but it's also going to come from the likes of Harvard University, the Galileo project. So you've got then the material science. You've got James Webb saying, "Look, that we found something. We can't get there. It's just too far, but we have found something." You'd have the government contractor saying, "Yep, we've got this material. It fell out of the sky, wherever it come from. It fell out of the sky, and we didn't make it." And then possibly, which they've been talking about for so long now, is some sort of reveal of the bodies of the pilots. It's very, very important, Phil. So I think we're being blindsided at the moment by the technology itself.
Yeah.
Everything's veering towards this technology. But if we want to know 100% absolute, are we alone or not? The technology is not going to be enough. We're going to need the pilots. We want to see the pilots that David Grush said there are pilots. We need to see them as well. So I'm wondering if they're just going to open a lot of boxes at once at some point, because then it starts to become indisputable.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about is with the American election. So if Kamala gets in, I don't think we're going to see anything. I think if Trump gets in, now I don't want to get on to politics because no. But for purposes of our discussion, and we both want to see, like everyone does, we know something's out there. We want to see proof. We know they have proof. We know they have proof of extraterrestrial or ultra-terrestrial life. So we want to see proof. And I think everything's kind of at the moment, what I'm worried about is with the election, if Trump gets in, I think he has enough. There was an interview that I saw of him where he was being interviewed and he was talking about they actually asked him, they said, do you know, while he was president, do you know of any UFOs or do you know if they exist? Yeah.
It was his son that asked him the question. It was a setup. It was a setup, you know what I mean? But he asked him, and that video got out there. He smiled.
That video got out there, and he said the pilots. He spoke to. It was a bit cringy because he said, "Oh, some of the pilots are lovely lads, lovely boy." It reminded me a little bit of that Sergeant Major and It Ain't Half Hot Mum, when he was talking about his son, who his son never knew that Sergeant Major was his dad. Lovely boy, lovely lad, lovely shoulders, and he said the pilots are lovely, good looking, fit, lovely guys. And they have told Trump, he said himself that they have told me that they have seen maneuvers of this craft and craft which are traveling at speeds we can't even approach. So I think we've got a chance with Trump, but with Kamala, I don't know. What do you think?
I think I think it was Ross Coulthart said very recently in the past few months. I'd have to fact check this, but he said that the reason Trump is already scared that if he says anything, that he'll be assassinated. And with this assassination attempt that he's just had very recently, he's come forward and he said, oh, it's not going to stop him, this, that, and the other. But he's going to be more cautious. The security is going to be tighter. If he is genuinely, if Ross Coulter is correct, or whoever said this was correct, that he's too scared to lift the lid on this because of being assassinated. Now, he's a potential president. If he's scared of being assassinated, who is running America?
Well, that's the thing. I heard. Yeah, I know. I heard that they called a president, whoever is a president, they called them. They kind of like shuffle along down a corridor, and they might have devastating, world-changing secrets, and they'll turn around and go, "Don't tell the temporary." They're treated like a temporary. The president is.
Yes, and it's I think it's the military generals and the decision makers in the military spending stuff like that, and it's like, no, he's only here for 4 years. Don't worry about him.
Yeah,
he's he's just a mouthpiece for the rest of them. We'll do our own thing because they've somehow managed to detach themselves from any consequence. Do you know what I mean? So interesting. It'd be interesting. I think this year there'll be a significant leap in this disclosure, what they're going to do, and we'll know a little bit more, and then we'll be able to when we get that information, we'll be able to you'll start forming a pattern or a line. You'll be able to see once one thing comes out and something else come out, and you can anticipate what's going to come out next. But then pilots have to come out. It's at the top. Not going to be enough for people to say 100% we are not alone and we didn't make, because you'll always have the 50-50 split. Yeah, well, they must have made it in an underground, but the Americans made it, the Russians made it, this is Chinese. And until we see them bodies, until we see a different species of hominid, that's going to be the deal breaker. That is going to be it. And I think they're not. This is only my opinion. Why the general? Yes, we want the knowledge of this technology. But what are the general public going to do with that? The general public, we're not going to be allowed near this stuff. You'd have to go to university. You'd have to possibly have it under license, or there's been all sorts of red tape here. But the bodies, they need to come into science. They need to be studied. If we're not alone, we'd be able to study them. That's the material the public are going to be able to access, is that biological material.
No, I think I don't know, it's funny, isn't it? It's a strange one. If it's a bit like, I always think it's a bit like a Christmas present. When you got your kid and you got your kid a Christmas present, you're depending on what they open up to what you've given them dictates the rest of the day. So the rest of the day can end. So if you kind of bought them a Wii, but oh dearie me, they've already got a Wii. Or if you've bought them a present that they don't really want.
Are you veering towards like public's the general public itself?
I think, I think
do this.
But you know what, Chris? I think that so many narratives, so many directions of thought have been bounced around. I honestly don't think anything they bring out will be a big surprise, because
No. I think they keep talking, and I'm seeing more and more of this, Phil, as well. I'll send you some links.
yeah,
So you get a spare couple of hours in the drive or something like that.
yeah,
Just maybe
yeah,
listen to Nick Pope gave a really interesting interview a few weeks ago. I've spoken to Nick Pope a couple of times. I've emailed him a couple of times. He's always been so lovely. Message back. He's been very helpful. So, and I've watched quite a lot of his. I am a fan of his. He's come forward and said along the lines of, I think the actual interview, if you Google it, a secret too terrible to tell, or something like that. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Let me just I'll find it for you while we're
okay,
speaking.
yeah, yeah. Because I just kind of think to myself, well, when you when you go into this subject, I have heard everything from um, alien autopsies to craft landing,
Yep.
and an alien coming out, going into the White House, staying in the White House, advising the then president about the best course of action, in view of nuclear, the Cold War at the time, um, to the WOW signal. I've heard of that. The WOW signal. Everyone's heard of the WOW signal. What
Yes.
I'm trying to get at is, what can they possibly bring out which would make everyone go, what? Even if they brought a body out, then they can grow tissue. They can grow. They can actually grow meat. You can actually buy. I think in certain shops you can buy artificial meat now.
They grew an ear on the back of a mouse.
Yeah, that's right. They did, didn't they? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So, what I'm trying to get at is, okay, if it's a build up, and it does feel like a build up, and believe you me, I'm looking forward. And there's
Yeah.
nothing
I'm
would please
quite
me.
excited for this autumn, Phil. I really am.
Yeah, but I'm also it's not a case of being skeptical. I think there will be a reveal, because everything's heading that way. There's been too many whistleblowers, and there's too many whistleblowers in the sidelines ready to come out, from what I've heard. So I think there is something that's going to be revealed, because too many people have seen stuff. You've seen stuff. I've seen stuff. People watching this at home, I'm sure they've seen stuff. If you have, leave a comment. So you know, if you've seen stuff and you can't account for it, it's not mass hypnosis. There is something there which we can't account for. Maybe lights which move in a strange manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna pass on to it. Let's talk about cryptids. Let's talk about the old photograph that was taken. Do you remember the old photograph that was taken? I forget where it was now. Oh, hang on, it'll come to me. With that girl, and in the background, she was like just sitting on a hill. In the background, is that spaceman in the spacesuit.
Oh yes. Oh God, was it her? Is it her?
Slipknot done a song about it, didn't they? Slipknot done a song about it. It'll come to me. Yeah. So
I can see it. I can see it.
that's right. Yeah. So things like that have always popped up. So Dogman, cryptids, Bigfoot. been sighted near or prior to sighting Bigfoot. They've seen lights in the sky, beams of light in forests, things like that have always gone on. So people have had these experiences. And what I'm getting at is, after a period of time, we get inundated with this. We know that there is something out there. So because of that, I do think they're going to appease people. They're going to say, yes, look, there is. You're not all going mad. There is something out there.
Yeah.
But what the hell can they give us to prove? I know alien bodies, but they can also, I don't know, what they're going to do. They're going to pass the alien body around to...
It would be passed definitely to a university, possibly a secure unit, because of potential disease, cross contamination. You know, you don't know if this is something very, very like unusual or not from Earth. Where is it from? What is it made out of?
What do you think? Do you think, on speculation, do you think it's prior to October, because it is building up? What do you think? Do you think that it's from outer space?
I think we're going to find out a couple of things eventually. I think they keep talking words to the tune of non-human intelligence and interdimensional. I think we're going to see almost certainly a little bit of both here. Okay, even if it's just for argument's sake, I mean, this is pure speculation that they say that the UFOs and the aliens are from outer space, and the cryptids and the other strange things that we see could be the interdimensional stuff. I think there's going to be two things. There's more than one, and I think we take for granted that there's just UFOs out there. Definitely all linked. I think there's a link between all of them somehow. And I think the link will be a simple link, like that whatever this is, and wherever it's from, whether it be outer space, or interdimensional, or both, it can be seen in the same frequency. It can be seen in the same light as each other. You know,
yeah.
In this, how can I put it? It presents in the same way, maybe in certain certain light or frequencies, or when I don't know. I know what I'm thinking. It's very hard for me to actually put that.
Do you know the one thing I think, Chris, of my sightings, and I know you've spoken about yours in the past, and there's one word that comes to my mind with a lot of sightings which people come forward with, and that word is absurd. When there's story, a lot of people, when they tell their story, they're scared that people are going to not believe them because the story is so absurd. Do you know what I mean? It's like kind of these things when they appear, it be a UFO. Take for instance me, my mates in a car many years ago, Beaconsfield, overlooking London on a high point. And we were young lads in a car, just enjoying the lights and just taking a bit of time out and just relaxing, just like looking around, listening to music on the radio in the car. All of a sudden saw a blue light, a cigar-shaped blue light. This is how absurd it is. A cigar-shaped blue green light coming from a distance, and it looks like a dot at first. And my mate turned around and said to me, "What's that?" And I looked over. I don't know. What is it? It's a reflection. Wind your window down. Wind the window down. It wound the window down. I had a closer look, And as it came towards the car, you could see it looked like a, I don't know what, a sausage, a long, big, like I guess it was I would, it was very quick, but I would hazard a guess it was no more than about 4 or 5 foot long. And I would hazard a guess as it passed, it was around about 12 inches, a foot in diameter. Is it? Yeah, is it diameter of a circle? Yeah, diameter. But glowing. And as it came towards the car at lightning fast speed, all of this happened in just incredible fast. It lit up the back of the car. All of us, 3 lads, myself, my mate who was driving, and a mate who was in the back with us, just looked at each other in this blue-green glow that lit up the car. And then it sped off over a field. And when we kind of chased it in our own way, it was in a Golf Mark II GTI. It was just his mother's car, funny enough. But we sped up, go on, chase it. And he was going along, and he must have been doing about, I don't know, 30 miles an hour. But to us, in the condition we were in, it felt like he was doing 90. We were like, slow down. Anyway, we chased it. Obviously, it'd gone, but we went in the general direction. And the only thing we saw when we got to the end of that road was one of these transformers, these small electrical transformers which are surrounded by a fence. Do not enter. High risk of electric shock. One of those, right in the same direction, dead, as if you could draw a line right from where we were parked to that. And we were so convinced of it, we all. We remember it to this day, and we all wrote it down, but we didn't tell anyone because we were too scared no one would believe us. Because it was so absurd.
When I started doing the CE5 groups, I went to a meeting up in up north from me. I'll just say that in case anybody's watching. I won't, because I've been to several up there. And I sat there. I remember when I first got, I was the first one there, and I got there, and I sat up on the hill, and I see an orb. I see an orange orb, and it done like a, not like a half circle, but like it was like like it bowed in the sky, and it's a beautiful sighting. Then I'd gone out to meet people, like-minded people, and I were too scared to tell them that I had just had a sighting in case they didn't believe me.
Yeah.
The absurdity of this, I get it. I totally get it. It's like, we never spoke about. In fact, when we were kids, I see that triangle, and I remember that weekend. My cousin, he had a terrible weekend after. Anyway, on the Monday, I went and found him. He was up at his girlfriend's, up at Sarah's house, and there was a small group of us. We hung around together. We were kids, and we spoke about it once, just the once, and we were laughed at. Sarah laughed her head off, and like, shut up, you pair of idiots! Like, you know what I mean? Shut up, like, God, shut up! Don't want to hear it. And I never spoke about it again till about 2017. Apart from, obviously, me wife, she knew. My wife had an experience herself when she was a child in Brighton. She was walking home back from school in Brighton. Anyone that knows Brighton, it was walking back from Van Dean School down to the dip in Hollandbury. And she was walking across some fields or some grassland, and she said everything went just absolutely dead still. She looked up, and there was a round craft about 30 meters above her. She said she started to run, and when she looked back, it was gone. She never saw it speed off or anything like that. But as she ran away from it, scared, and when she looked back, she said it was completely gone. She said her encounter lasted maybe about 5 or 10 seconds.
Funny.
So I was quite comfortable telling my wife, but even after a sighting and going to meet people that are experiencers, that are into this topic, I was still too scared. It was absurd. It's like stuff like that doesn't happen to me. You know, I don't get to. I got to the meeting. It's the first time I met most of these people, and I think they think I was a liar. They think straight away. They think I was a liar. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, how can I say I've just seen something? I'm thinking if I've seen something and we don't see anything else all night, which we didn't, and I'm like, how can I tell these people I've already had my sight? I've seen something. I said,
so you were going to meet people that were going to go looking for UFOs that night anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
100%.
before you met them, you had a UFO sighting.
Absolutely, hands down. I seen orange orb. It bowed in the sky, and I followed it. I followed it for about 2 or 3 minutes. It was it was the way it was moving was very strange. It covered a massive area of the sky in just a few minutes, and it was around about plane height, what I'd call plane height, maybe a mile or a couple of miles high. You know, I've done some research since I've posted my own little videos. I keep coming across. I'm ready for the skeptics. I'm very ready for the skeptics. The thing is, I think very scientifically anyway. But the skeptics wouldn't be ready for me because I'm not a spiritual believer in the CE5. I'm doing this. I'm absolutely doing this from a scientific point of view. You know, trying to see what works best. What is this? Are we going to get closer to this? Can we communicate with this? You know, if we flash, are they going to flash back? That sort of thing. You know.
Do you want to? Would you mind letting us all know what the channel is you've got?
Oh yeah, no, I've just started up. I've had to start a channel to post my videos. The file size is too big to send through Facebook and other ways, emails and stuff like that. So I haven't started a YouTube channel to be a YouTuber. It's only somewhere literally to put my videos.
Like a library.
Like a library, yes, exactly that. So but I've started posting footage. I went out and brought a really, really good night vision camera recently.
Okay.
And so we went to a CE5 meeting in Leicester a couple of weeks ago, and I met a guy there. I won't name names. I went with my experiencer friend who I've been out lots and lots of times with my experiencer friend. He was there that night. We met another guy there who was also an experiencer, and we sat down and we had a really, really lovely. And there were 2 other guys there. There was a YouTuber had come and met us, which I thought was quite funny because he was after the likes. I think he wasn't after the experience itself. He was after the likes from the YouTube channel itself, and he was. I didn't find him open-minded at all. He just, you know.
What do you mean? Well, I don't get it. It was after the likes from the channel.
No, so he's out there. He wanted to make himself a YouTube video, seeing some orbs and get himself
Got you.
a load of
Right,
light.
yeah.
So anyway, and there was 5 of us started there, and we sat there for a few hours. We did the meditation, which was it was a cleansing meditation, and then one of the guys, he got out a short meditation from Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer, which I can post. I can try and post links to these meditation videos to you in due course. I know the guy that had it, he's on holiday at the moment, but he's back next week, and I will be speaking to him. I'll see if I can get the meditations to post in the link.
So what happens with the meditation? What do you
we sit like? There. We would the idea of the meditation is to first of all cleanse you know, any bad feelings, and you know, really relax. Well, I struggle terribly with the meditation itself. I have concentration issues, and I try very hard to participate in the meditation, but quite often, just a few minutes in, I'll want to, you know, I might hear a bird or something, and I'll open my eyes, or you know, I'll be totally distracted. Anyway, so the idea of meditation is to feel cleansed, you know, free of any bad energy, and you know, and then you ground yourself. The idea that you imagine yourself grounding like tree roots into the ground. From the tree roots, you'll grow then, and you grow up, and you almost like what I would, if I was on my own in the dark, be able to do as an out of body experience, is to try and simulate that out of body experience. Okay, so you'll go up, and what you, the idea is to or how I think you, while you're up there in your mind, in that space, you'll come across these light beings, if you like, and you in your mind you try to interact with these, and then it's called vectoring. So you will before you start, you will all know exactly where you are. You will all know exactly where due north is. Okay, so when you vector, when you imagine yourself coming back down and inviting the light beings in your mind back down to you, that you come back and you guide them to back to where you're sitting. It's I've don't think I've ever completed the full meditation itself. I have tried, and the thing is, it only lasts about 10 minutes, both parts of it, or maybe 15 minutes. It's not it's not an hour-long session of humming and om noise, and you know, sat cross-legged or anything like that. It is a very, very, very casual sit down, listen, deep breaths, and trying to imagine yourself in these situations, almost like what I would do as astral planing if I was messing around with the out of body experience thing. You know, I just can't do it in a group of people, Phil. I just can't do it. You know, if I do any astral plane stuff, I haven't done it for a long time, but it's in a completely dark room. I try and desensitize the room, silence, you know, and that's how I would do that, you know.
Yeah. I'd find that a bit difficult. I remembered that photo, Solway Firth.
Oh, right.
The one with the little girl with the silver suit, spaceman behind her over here. Solway Firth. That was bugging me. Anyway, with the meditation. So if you had, hypothetically, if you had me doing the meditation here,
yes,
and I'm in Essex, You where you are, which I know is many miles away.
Yes.
Would we both? Are you saying that in this meditation, where we're kind of like reaching up into the upper ether, if you like?
Yes. Yes. Exactly that.
Right. Okay. I got that. That's fine. But what I don't get is you're basically saying that the light beings, I would meet up with a light being, and you would, or could possibly.
I think
How do
this
you
is.
know that? How do you know it's going to be a light being, though, Chris? I mean, I could be. I could have in my head a different image to meet, or is it that with this meditation, everybody meets the same being? Is
I
that
think
what?
this is more down to artistic imagination.
Mm,
That you would that you would want to meet one, or part of the experience is actually meeting one.
right. Okay. Right.
I'm not
And have
sure.
they?
I've
Have they?
I've got my own ideas about the CE5 itself. I think that people have done it for thousands of years. They've looked to the sky and
Mm,
they've longed. They've. I think these things are whatever this stuff is interested in that type of thought that come and play with me, come back with me,
mm,
there's a
mm,
party down there, come and
yeah.
see us,
Yeah.
and for thousands of years people have worshipped the sky in very similar, not the way we do it is not in a religious way, but that sort of, when people have knelt down and prayed for hours and hours in the past, they didn't have TVs and Phil. They would have gone into these light meditative states, and these
Mm,
things, I think they're attracted to that state of mind, not the actual. The CE5 is a very modern version of this form of, if you want to put it, contact.
mm,
You want to put it like that. I've got my own ideas with this. I don't think we're actually contacting them. I genuinely think when you put yourself into this meditative state, and this is why people see them all the time when they're just walking along the road daydreaming,
yeah.
quite
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
in a daydream state, they look up and, oh my God, like seeing something weird,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
interested in this, in our thought more than the more than I'm unsure. I don't even think we're actually contacting them. I think that we're putting these thoughts out there, and they're able to somehow sense that really positive state of mind and the urge to contact,
Mm, mm.
and maybe they respond to that.
Because I mean, we it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. It was interesting, that story with your missus when she had her encounter with that
Yes.
UFO.
Yeah.
And the interesting part of it is this: you mentioned that, and you didn't overemphasize it, but you just mentioned it, and I just sort of heard it, and I thought, "Ooh." Now, when I've been in forests and places, and I've been close to a dogman or some cryptid, usually dogman, either type 1, type 2, or type 3. But 9 times out of 10, I will have exactly the same, Chris. It will go completely quiet, still. There'll be no sounds, and it'll be almost like it's a bubble of concentration between me and the entity,
This is
like
a
you
frequency.
and your wife and the UFO. Everything else just
Everything
almost
went
stops.
still. when I see the triangle as a kid, that was exactly that. And this is when I called it a frequency earlier. It's not. It's like a vacuum.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
call it
is.
a frequency. It's not actually a frequency. It's like this weird vacuum comes over, and it's like this bizarre window that you're able to see these things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I call
exactly.
it the frequency, but I don't know what else to call that. What would you call? What would you name that? It's like,
Yeah, I can only describe it. I don't know what to name
oh,
it.
that's a change, is it?
Yeah, it's completely it feels like it's so tangible that
It's not your that visual frequency or your visual range changes in that
yeah,
inside this vacuum.
yeah. The shocking part of it for me is I remember once I was in a wood not very far away from where I am at the moment, and I was taking my two dogs, and we were trotting along, and our path was blocked by a tree, and I stopped because I thought my dogs are terriers, short legs. I thought I've got to pick one up because there's brambles in the way, and I'll cut across around the tree which has fallen over the path. And at that instant, it's almost like I stepped into a bubble of silence. It was a summer afternoon, and a summer afternoon in the woods is really quite noisy.
Yes.
You've got different animals chirping, birds making
Yeah.
noises, all kinds of sounds going on. Even I remember, and there was a tractor in the field just adjacent to where we were. Nothing. As soon as I just stepped off the path and carrying Ruby, one of my dogs, stepped into nothing, and it was then that I heard the growling and the wood knocks, like this knocking sound. As soon as I step out, it's back to normal, back to sound again, like your wife and like with you with the Cosford Triangle. And I'll just let people know at home that we had Chris on previously, and he shared a fantastic account. He was witness to the Cosford Triangle in 1993, wasn't it?
Yep. Easter Bank Holiday weekend, 1993.
Yeah.
It was
So
a
he
Sunday
was
morning.
witness to that.
It was about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So I'll put that previous video interview on the description of this one below. So just click the link and you'll be able to see that in his account. Fascinating. And his friend as well. You wait till you find out about his mate and what his mate ended up doing.
It's my cousin, and he just
Yeah.
he changed forever. Like it changed him. I'm sure it changed him.
Yeah, it was a hell of an account. There is traits to both UFOs and with cryptids and other bits and bobs that people see and experience, which do have the same effect upon us. Whether it is, like you say, a frequency, could well be. With the CE5 group, are they quite successful in bringing down these light beings? Can they interact with them?
So we've all of us are separate, very, very close contact experience. I call it contact experience because I don't know how else you would portray this. I don't believe it's direct contact. We're not talking to these things, and they're not talking back. What we do get what we have seen in the groups a couple of times is that if you point a laser pen at these things and you'll flash your laser pen, that sometimes they would also flash, but that again, that could be down. They could be passing a bird or a small cloud or something like that. That could be the optical illusion of the flashing. Now, the closest experience that I've had was literally, I want to say about 20 to 30 meters above my house. And it felt like a very, very personal experience. I was the only person meant to see that. That was after, again, a small meditation, Stephen Greer meditation. And the urge, it's strange. I had the urge to just go outside. I'd done the meditation indoors, and as I walked out the back door, this thing popped out of the cloud. It was shaking. It was like someone was shaking it, and it popped out of the cloud, shaking, and then it went probably about 30 or 40 meters. In a straight line under the cloud, which was, oh my God, it was very, very low cloud cover that night, extremely low.
Okay.
And then it just popped back into the cloud again. This was about 11 or 12 at night. Everybody's lights were off. It was nobody in the street, and it popped out right directly above my house. Now, we've all of us in the group that have been to Leicester, I'd say most of us in the group that go to the Leicester group, have had very, very similar and very, very close up experiences with these things, whatever they are. I don't even know what you call this stuff. But when we've been in the group, we've never had that. The closest we've had was the first night when we went to Bradgate Reservoir or Cropston Reservoir, and it was the first one we see done exactly that. It literally popped out of a cloud, of low-lying cloud. Cloud cover was about, I would say, about half a mile high that night. You could visibly, from the hill, you could see it was probably about half a mile. I'm going to say half a mile. So whatever this thing was not a satellite. We've done our research on this, Phil. The satellites are 160 kilometers up. I don't know what that is in miles. 120 miles, maybe.
Yeah, about that. I guess because it's 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, so 61. So maybe 110, whatever it is. It's you're not talking like these things are under the clouds. The clouds we're seeing they're not 160 miles up, Phil. It's whatever this stuff is. It's very, very strange. And
when you saw that, Chris, sorry, mate. When you saw that light, was that during one of these meditation sessions?
Yeah, it was directly after, within about 5 minutes.
And did you all account for that being
No,
a result?
No. I see that myself. It was last September. It was September the 21st last year. I see that. And it was the night before my birthday. And that's what prompted me to go online and look for other people that have seen this stuff. And this is why I've gone into I'm very new to this CE5 community, and I'm still so extremely skeptical of what is happening. I have no doubt we're seeing stuff. I have no doubt it is responding to something we're doing. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It is responding to something we're doing. But it has also responded to other people for thousands and thousands of years that have also been doing stuff that is not what we're doing. They haven't. They wouldn't be sat there listening to Stephen Greer and his CE5 protocol. They would be doing something completely different and using their imagination, something completely different to make these things. I think they're attracted to us almost like mosquitoes to a blue light. You know. So by meditating, we put that blue light out there, and they're like, "Oh, that's interesting. What is that?" You know. So this is where the contact bit becomes really hazy. So if you flash a torch at something and it flashes back at you, that is contact. That is hands down. That is contact. If that is what is happening, you know, if that thing hasn't ducked behind a cloud. But it becomes hazy when you don't really know what you're doing to initiate this response.
Well, you flashed a torch at it.
No. With the meditation, we're not flashing torches. What are we doing to entice this thing to come and see us at close range and then just vanish again? You know?
But does it? Yeah. But
It's attracted to us somehow.
yeah. Does it though? Does it every time you go and meditate? Is it as a group? Let's get this right. Is it as a group you meditate, then it appears, or are we talking individuals? Like you said that you were at home and you saw light.
Yeah, we've all of us had our individual experiences. I've had on Monday night, which I've posted the video from Monday night. I've just bought some really lovely garden furniture.
All right.
And the weather was really nice Monday night, and I sat out there. It was till about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the sky, it was lovely. There was a few low clouds, and I took some really lovely footage, shooting stars. There's satellites in the background. They are undoubtedly satellites there, and the video gives it some perspective, because there is a plane in there. There is some shooting stars in there. There is satellites in there. I know there's satellites in there. They're in the video. They're from 3 minutes to 5 minutes 20. There's satellites, but they're visibly satellites, Phil. You can see they're 160 miles away. You can see they're so far away that I couldn't even see them. I only found them on the camera. That's how far they should be. That's 160 miles, definitely. So anything that is around about plane height, when I say plane height, I like half a mile high, 40,000 feet. It's under the clouds. That is not a satellite. That is just not.
Okay, so the Stephen Greer, then does he say that by doing this meditation, it has a higher than average chance of ending with an encounter, or should I say a sighting, not so much an encounter?
I think he believes it's more of a practice. It's not a religious practice or anything like that, but maybe it possibly could be regarded as a religious practice. Maybe, I don't know. You'd have to look into that. But I think he believes that what he does is contact. He believes he's contacting these light beings. I don't know what else to call them, Phil. I don't know. You know, some people call them the visitors, or but realistically, I don't know. We have absolutely no idea what this stuff is, and I've had a terrible feeling for a long time that when they do start disclosing this stuff, when they do start releasing this information, that the guidelines will change. If it will maybe not to be practicing CE5 because of the dangers associated with these things. We don't know. It would be like a warning: do not play with fire, kids.
Yeah.
It's going to be, don't put your finger in a plug socket because something bad's going to happen. So I think the guidelines. There's going to be. I don't think they'll ever be able to outlaw it or anything like that. But with the disclosure, maybe they'll be able to tell us a little bit more about what it is we're doing to entice the sightings, because they seem to respond.
See, yeah, I do.
They respond to this meditation. They respond to it. Yes, they do. But are they attracted to us like a mosquito to a light, or are we genuinely contacting them?
You see, one thing that strikes me as have been in all of this quite strange, really, is I equate it a lot of times to religion. So you had you've got aliens, right? People like know that there's something else out there. Let's call them aliens for the time being, yeah, because it's just a easier way of doing it, because we don't actually know what it is. So
No,
alien,
no idea.
you know, yeah, so let's call it alien to us, you know. And then which are meant to do miracles. Yeah. They're meant to, in our book, meant to do miracles. You know, it's a bit like the cryptids, meant to do miracles, move faster than anything we've seen, make no sound in the forest. The UFO craft, they kind of like take off, and it's been witnessed that they go, oh, I don't know how fast, but faster than anything we can possibly catch up with. We haven't got anything like that. So they do miracles, and in religion there's miracles. You know, I mean, you had a guy, you know, Jesus died, and hey, guess what? He came back from the dead. You know, and you know, and people for thousands of years, well, 2,000 years actually, have a little bit over, but have meditated to such a point with Jesus and Holy Spirit and God, but they haven't manifested.
No, exactly. But you wouldn't know. Just I've seen quite a few sightings over people's houses. Think about that.
What, Jesus?
Oh God. God no.
God no. I like that one. God no.
No. Over. So I've had my own experience of that thing really, really close.
Right.
Last year, 21st of September. But I've also seen things above other people's houses, you know. When I've had other experiences, I don't believe. I believe a lot of them are meant for me, and if and when I'm with them, the group, to see them. But I also think some of these things I'm actually seeing other people's encounters.
Okay, how do you mean? Don't get it.
Yeah, so like I've had a visit from one of these things. Let's call it a visit from one of these things last year. I was able to recognise that. I'd meditated before that. I recognised it. I see the sighting. It's actually it's kicked me up the backside to go and find other people that are having these experiences. It's done me the world of good. I've met some fantastic people in the past, well, less than a year. I've met and have made some very, very good friends. Okay. So, but I've also believe other people have these experiences and they might not even know it. They might, you know, they could be walking around in a daze, or, you know, they've just won £1,000 on the lottery. They're walking around, they're happy, and, you know, and this, you know, that blue light, the blue light comes on, and this mosquito comes down and has a look. Oh, look, you know, very interested in this person while they're having a really good deep think about what they're going to do with their money. But that person doesn't realize that they've had the encounter. It could be above their house. It could be above their garden. It could be, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've seen these things above other people's houses. I haven't just seen them above my house. What if everyone gets a visit every now and again?
Okay. These things, they like blue orbs, are they?
I've seen two very, very vivid, specifically blue orbs. The one I see outside my back door that day was like magnesium. It was like magnesium ribbon burning. Okay.
Okay, blimey.
It was
Right.
so brilliantly bright white, and it was almost looked like a sparkler as well. It was like I couldn't just being shaken.
It left a trail. Did it leave a trail?
No,
it left a trail in the sky.
No,
Any
I'll
smoke?
tell you what it did do. It lit up my tree.
What? Your tree?
It lit up. I've got a tree in my garden, and I see the reflection. I see the reflection of the light on my tree.
Okay.
It lit up the top of my tree. Now, I did see that. So, and it just vanished. But I've seen orange. I've heard a lot of people see orange orbs, orange one, for whatever reason. But they're the three main colours. Some on one of the videos, it actually shows it very, very well, that we see like a bluey green orb. It was very low as well. It was plane height, if you like, 1,000 meters or something like that.
Yeah.
It was almost pulsating between a green and a light blue. This one, and it's actually on camera. It's actually on camera. We've got it on video.
Okay, is that on your channel? Is that
that's on one of the other guys' channels, but he's got exactly the same. He's given me the idea for it because he uses YouTube as his library for his CE5.
Yeah, sure. Right. Okay. Do you know what CE5 stand for? Sorry to be so ignorant.
Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind.
Oh, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Okay. Right.
So,
and the fifth kind, the fifth kind to me is Mila Djokovic when she was in that film. Was it Encounters of the Fifth Kind? Do you ever see it? Where she portrayed in Canada, Alaska. It's town in Alaska, and it was meant, I think, roughly based on a true story. I think it was a true story. There was a bit of skepticism around it, but had a lot of people who went to see this psychologist lady who Mila Djokovic played as an actress, and they had encounters and dreams of owls coming to them at night, and it turned out that they were greys. And they would go into spasm, these people, kind of like, in their what do you call it, hypnosis. They'd go into spasm and kind of, the whole village, I like to call it a village, but it's town, I suppose, in Alaska, was just basically wrapped up in this whirlwind of UFO and ET grey frenzy. And they'd done a film. I think it was not Close Encounters. I think it was not the Fifth Element. The Fifth Kind, or the Fifth. It's a Mila Djokovic film. I'll have to Google it. I'll stick it down on I'll stick it down the name on the description. I can't think of it at the moment what it was called. For the life of me, it will come to me as soon as I put the mic down. I go, oh yeah, but yeah. So okay, closing out the Fifth Kind. So the Fifth Kind being kind of like close up to.
Yeah. So no, I can't remember the others exactly. But this one means this is initiated contact. So I think there's one of the C1 or 2 is like is meeting a being. One of them seeing a craft, and one of them, and the fifth kind is actually initiating the contact, human initiated contact.
Ah, okay, right, making it appear basically.
Yeah, as we spoke about earlier, I don't think that's exactly what's happening. I think that a lot of this stuff is when we find out exactly what's happening, 100% there's something there, but I'm still very, very 50-50 as to whether we're contacting them by what we're doing, or whether they're actually contacting us, whether they're just interested in us, and they will appear when we're in this state. I don't know.
I personally think that they like cryptids. I think these beings. I believe that John Keel was right in believing that they were ultra terrestrials. and they need us basically to exist. They need to be witnessed, but they can't exist unless they're witnessed by us. Now, what that means, I think, is kind of it's a difficult one. In a way, and this is going to be such a big letdown if it's true, but what about if these things are manifested by us in a way,
like a bizarre mirror,
like a bizarre mirror, like a bizarre
like a
odd mirror?
bizarre 3D mirror.
Yeah, because I say that only because never two witnesses have the same experience for a start. And it is the sightings we know, Chris, we both know, we've had sightings, we both know that they are absurd. A lot of the sightings are,
Yeah,
there's something about them which is absurd, which makes them, it's almost like they're turning around and saying, right, okay, we're going to show ourselves. Yeah, I'm a dog man, hello, but I'm going to show myself in such a manner as that it's going to be embarrassing for you to come up with the story. Nobody's going to believe you that I was here
they've been
because
accused like that. Dr. Gary Nolan said on a podcast a little while ago, they seem to have a sense of humour. There's a funny sense of irony about them, you know.
yeah,
Exactly what you've just said. You know, me at that meeting when I was going to meet a lot of new people there that I'd never met before, and everybody, when I got there, everybody was really, really into the topic. They knew that what they were talking about. There were some people there that had never seen anything, and there were people there that had been seeing stuff like me since I was a kid. And I just said I was the only one that said anything all night, but I couldn't even tell them. My life, and you're like, I've just met these people. I'm going to tell them I've seen
yeah,
something before they got there, and then knowing almost certainly, like on your first couple of
yeah,
nights,
yeah,
you might not see something. You might have equipment malfunctions, or it might rain,
yeah,
or whatever. Anything can happen, you know.
mm,
And for me, yeah, I had a sighting early in the night. They're going to think
yeah,
they're going to think I'm
yeah,
a liar, you know. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
Because they're
told,
all there for the same thing, aren't they? They're all
I
there for the
told my
same thing.
missus, yeah, this is why I've bought this camera. It was quite a lot of money that I've spent on this camera, and I mean, you've seen the videos. The
Yeah,
quality is very, very good.
very good, very
It,
good. They,
it's lovely and clear. You can see with the camera, you can see so much more than I can see with the naked eye. It almost like a miniature telescope. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
not quite as powerful as a telescope, but it is. It can see it's got like a infinity mode on it, and if you
mm,
just leave it there, it picks some good stuff up. But
mm,
yeah, we had we went back, so we went a few about. Oh, it must have been 5 weeks ago for the first time. We see seven on that evening. The guy that one of the guys that I was with, he had this night vision camera, and I went home and bought one the following day. I had to have houses when I see the quality of
yeah,
the videos
yeah,
and
yeah,
what he was doing with it. He let me have a go, and I see it, and I thought, oh my god, how can I can't even believe I've been trying this without a camera like that, you know.
yeah,
And then we went back 2 weeks ago, not last weekend before, and we got. Well, I mean, it was breathtaking that night. It was a beautiful, clear night. There's no light pollution where we go, and we see shooting stars. We see planes all the time going into East Midlands. They're very easy to spot, you know, and we see. Oh my god, I can't even count how many orbs that were very, very low. I mean, the video that one of the guys said to me, he actually rung me up when I posted the video. He said that's nearly 22-minute video, and he said I don't think there's a CE5 video on the whole internet that's 22 minutes long for one night. He said that you could make it up out of clips. He said, but not for one night. And he went through it. He is also going to get one of these cameras. It's a Sonic's night vision. Is
it one of those like a looks like a pair of binoculars?
No. It's actually just a single scope. It's just like like a miniature telescope.
Yeah, sure. I think I know the one. Yeah.
No, it's got a few buttons on it, and then you just set it to infinity night mode, and point it whatever you want to see. You see, it's well, put it this way: if them satellites really are on the second video, definitely there was some satellites, and well, put it this way: that I couldn't see them satellites until I played the video back. Well, that camera can see at least 160 miles.
That's good. That's a long way. Okay. Yeah.
So that's a long way. So if they are satellites, which I know they are, that's 160 kilometers. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Minimum.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, that's good. And it's all orbs as well.
It's on these. So on the night, the long video, the first video I posted. There's several really, really good shots of orbs. The only thing the camera doesn't do is give it any depth perception. So I can film these orbs. We can see from the ground these things are very, very low, but on the camera it just looks like part of the night sky.
Okay, but you could see these orbs with your eyes as well, or not?
Yeah,
just with the camera.
Could, yeah, definitely.
Right, because a lot of ghost hunters would say they're souls.
Maybe this is where and everything ties in. I think
this is where everything ties in, because it's like I went on a ghost hunt recently, and it was in a big old building, massive big old building, and I got some good footage myself of and the CCTV also got footage of these orbs, and these orbs seem to be, I mean, if it was dust, there was one of an orb going across the room. If it was dust, it would be vulnerable to things like drafts, thermals from point of view of like heat change, even your body, because we're sort of like nearly 100 degrees as we're walking around, bodies close by would react with dust. It would like kind of react. This thing was going completely straight down the room, on film, and then just disappeared. So we caught lots of orbs, but of course, come see, come out, we were at the time, because we were in an old building and because it was in we were purposefully looking for ghosts. We saw the orbs and we put the orbs down to, I personally would put them down to energies or some sort, but yeah, a lot of people put them down to maybe someone's soul. So that's the really strange thing. Like you said, we kind of like, well,
could it be that if somebody's soul, maybe, for example, you're grieving for somebody, you're really thinking about them, thinking about the good times, you're in that meditative state again, and then all of a sudden they're there.
Yeah, maybe it is that frequency. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe they appear and represent, depending on I think it was John Keel that said that the paranormal reacts like a mirror. to whatever we look at. So kind of I'm looking at the time, I was looking for ghosts. So it will react as a mirror as orbs appearing, so we can call them souls or spirits. You saw them basically, I'm guessing, in a field.
Yeah, so it's like what we've managed to get. It's like a little rocky outcrop.
Okay.
It's quite high up as well. It's raised to a really good high position where we are in Bradgate Park. It's very easy to get to, and we have a meeting on planned for the 17th of August. If anyone was interested that was watching.
Oh, can anyone go?
If you could, it would be through the Facebook. You must try and go through the Facebook group. Which, it's CE5 Leicester.
What I'll do, if you can send me, have I got the link for that? If you send me the link, send me the link, and what I'll do, guys, is I'll post it on the description.
I'll do it tomorrow when I get home. It's just sit down and do an email of stuff. And the Nick Pope thing, it's just popped into my head again. It was a podcast called A Secret Too Terrible to Tell. A Secret Too Terrible to Tell. Okay. So in that, the theory is that not only must say this, I've got about 5 or 10 minutes now, Phil. And, must take yourself off.
Right. But the one thing I need to know, though, is this flower that you saw.
Oh,
I need to know that. Right. You tell us about that. Tell us about that.
Yeah. No, I had. I think around about it was in the. It was in between the time I had my heart attacks. I'm sure it was in the middle of the two there, and I was not in a very good mood that day, and which is really unlike me. I'm usually really upbeat, and just I don't usually change. I can't remember if anything had happened. It was through my what I call my dark period, because I did get quite depressed, but in that period, because of the heart attacks and the health problems, change, knowing that I'd have to change career and so on and so on. There was quite a lot going on, and I do remember this. I hadn't had a very good day, and I don't when I've had bad days, I don't sleep very well. It could wreck my sleep pattern for a week. Do you know what I mean? Having a couple of bad days before I actually get back into my own routine. And anyway, I remember sitting up that particular night. I'd gone. I would periodically get up. It was in the middle of summer, so quite possibly. It may have been a few months before the second heart attack, regardless of timing. So I had I'd had a really bad day. I was sat up, and I was just feeling really grumpy, really down. And periodically, I would get up, go stand outside front door, have a cigarette, or go and have a cigarette out the back, or and I did. I stood on my front doorstep, and as I stood up, I've looked up, and this flower, was like just above it was probably about 10 or 15 meters off the ground, just above me. And I see it, and I remember saying it. I remember looking at it, and I said, "You fucking leave me alone. I've had enough tonight. Fucking leave me alone." I was really, I was in that frame of mind, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'd come back in, and I was like, I wasn't. Again, I've never been scared of any of these encounters. Not once, not never. I'm curious. I'm not scared of these. The only one that did scare me was the triangle, but we didn't know what we'd seen, Phil. We were kids, and we'd been up to no good all night. That could have been the police for all we know. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, sure.
We that's why we were scared. In different circuit, if I'd have seen that in the middle of the day and I was with my mum or my dad, I would have possibly gone over for a better look. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't scared by it, but then I sort of calmed down, and I always remember thinking, what the hell was that? It was like a moving flat. This thing's like moving.
Can you describe it? Can you describe it for us?
It was exactly. You sent me a picture of it.
Oh right, on on that video.
You sent me a picture of it. That was that was it, Phil. You've sent me a picture of it.
Okay, then.
Like, the way I could describe it verbally was like a strange sort of flower in the sky, and what it was moving, like it was not almost like bubbling, but it was like moving. I can't even describe the movement. It was very, very bizarre.
Was there anything in the middle of this flower?
And not that I can remember. Not it didn't have like a it didn't have like a hole. It was just
right. Okay. What I'll do, I'm going to put a picture of the flower up on here. Okay, as well. I'll do that. So that'll be coming up in a minute. But yeah, no, that's incredible. A lot of people have seen that, recently.
Yeah, it was. I've never seen it since. And again, I didn't at the time. It was like almost like I weren't in. It's like I'm not in the mood for this. At that, right in that second moment in time, like I'm not in the mood for this. Like, this wasn't a. When I see some of these orbs, sometimes it's a really, really pleasant. Wow,
yeah.
There's a wow factor to it. That night there was no wow factor. It was like get out of my face. I really do not need this on top of what I've got going on. Do you know what I mean?
Didn't you find it strange that you were talking to it? Did you find that strange that you actually felt that you could talk to it?
Not in the moment, no. But looking back on it, it was like I do periodically. If I do talk. I talk to myself quite a lot.
Oh, that's fine. We all do that, mate. We all do that.
It's not, and it's not uncommon for me to talk out loud to myself either. Sometimes.
No. We all do that. That's fine. I understand that. But if I saw a UFO, I wouldn't be talking to a UFO.
I was more when I see it. I was like, there was. How can I put it? There was no real wow factor. Like when I've seen the others, it really was like looking at it, things like really like on top of everything else. Like I've got this now that I've now got to keep secret from everybody that I can't tell anybody because I'm going to think I'm a nutter. And I'm like just like anything else tonight. Do you know what I mean? That's
got it.
And then like I say, when I calmed down, I thought I'm like, so what the hell was that? I've never seen anything like that.
That is incredible. And I didn't know about the story until I actually showed you that video. And you said, "Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. That's it, exactly." Yeah. Incredible. I'll put that up. I will put that up.
It presented itself. It was like almost like a beigey reddy sort of colour it had to it.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Beige reddy colour. Okay.
Beige and like a off pink. Do you know what I mean? Like a
A lot of people have seen it and put it down to angels.
Yes, I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that because of the feeling it gave you?
No, because of what it looks like. It's floating in the air. It's the bubbling, rippling sort of effect that it had. Definitely, could be translated as wings in somebody's eyes. For sure that could be. Definitely regarded as an angel or some sort of spirit. Anyway, it wasn't just an orb. It had quite a complex structure to it. You know.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, no, it was. Well, you see, it's like a flowery sort of shape, Phil. The thing was moving in on itself. It wasn't just a football shape sat in the sky doing nothing. You know, just moving. This
So
thing
it was just,
it was complex. It wasn't simple.
Incredible. I know you got to go. I'm going to wrap it up there. I just want to say thank you everyone for watching. Chris, thank you once again for sharing all your accounts with us. I really do appreciate it. It's fantastic. If you want to, what I'll do, I will post the links on the description, including you. Do you want to show your YouTube channel that you've got?
Yeah, no. What I'll do, I'll send you. I'm going to compile you an email tomorrow with some links.
Lovely. Okay.
Yeah. My videos. A couple of other bits. Very, very quick. What did you think of the sun octopus?
I know. Guys, yes, you've got to. I'll
5 more minutes. Go on.
Yeah, I'll post this. That was very strange. What it was, for anyone listening, I will try and get that put up. I've got to be careful to make sure that I can put it up, copyright wise. But if not, I'll stick a link on the bottom. And but when you have a look, you will see that it's this large, so space is dark, right? Space is black, but then you can just see an outline of this massive big black thing, and then it's attached almost like an umbilical cord. It's attached to the sun. So someone's got a special filter, so they can actually video the sun.
I do believe that video was actually a NASA video from 2000.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Wow.
You'd have to, again, please fact check me on that. That video was taken by a definitely a very, very well known observatory. 100%.
Right. Okay. Because I know they also have got a satellite now, not far away from the sun, just for the sun, haven't they? Because they're worried about solar flares. So they've got a satellite up there just taking images of the sun and video. But so it's got an umbilical cord. You've got this black structure. It looks round to me, but or circular, and it's attached with like this black umbilical cord that's kind of like waving, undulating, and it's attached to the sun like it's pulling off something or giving it something, one or the other. And I kid you not, when you watch it, it kind of in an instant it just flashes away from the sun. It just disappears from the sun with such speed that you can see the what's the word, the ripples in the sun. So almost like dropping a stone in a pond, you can see ripples in the sun of where it's gone at such incredible speed. It's just disappeared, and you see the aftershock. That's the word, aftershock, in the surface of the sun. And I was like, "What? Oh my God, I've never seen that before." That was incredible, Chris. Thank you so much for sending us that.
Lou Elizondo, I'll leave you with this. Lou Elizondo said a few years ago, when he was asked what he thought about all this, and he said one word. He said the word fractal. He said he believes this is fractal. Life could be fractal. So looking at, like we look at ants, this stuff would look at us like ants. Maybe even this stuff is so big. I mean, that the sun octopus, if you compare it to the sun, that thing's thousands and thousands of times the size of the Earth.
Yeah,
it's thousands and thousands of times the size of the Earth. So yeah, make of that as you will.
Yeah, it was huge, guys. It was huge, absolutely huge. And the speed when it moved, oh, it was just incredible. Like less than a blink of an eye. just boom, gone, boom. That's it. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, so I'll leave all the links. Thank you, Chris, for giving us all that. I just want to say thank you, everyone at home, for watching. And Chris, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Do
Bill.
really appreciate it, and hopefully speak again soon.
We will, absolutely, 100%. Always a
All right,
pleasure.
you take care. All right, bye, mate.
See you.
Bye. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe if you can. That'd be great. It helps a small channel out like mine. Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye.